Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Board Pod. We're looking forward to talking about a topic today that I think is a hot topic in our day-to-day professional life. And it is regarding the role of discounting and promotions and markdowns. And, let's just unlock it, because I think that there's a variety of things that can contribute to wanting to use it, not using it at all. And we just kind of want to bring you through the journey of your considerations of this promotional tactic.
Yeah, I think this is perfect for the business owner who has, I guess, probably got a few runs on the board. They're seeing their competitors discount. They're deciding, what is my discount strategy? Should I be using it? Should I not? A lot of the time you kind of blindly walk into this decision without a full consideration of what it is you're trying to achieve and why you do it. And I think if there's one thing that you'll take away from today is things that you should look at before making blind decisions, and also the impact that can have, not just tomorrow on your bottom line, but also what your bottom line looks like in 3 to 4 years. And there's nothing worse than sleeping your way into a decision that has pretty dramatic impacts on your business overall. One of those things you need to consider properly. And it's a very easy, quick decision in the moment to get a sugar hit, but have you fully considered it as part of your business going forward?
Yeah. Different ways and different businesses are set up differently. So we're going to walk through, how you would approach, say, a luxury brand versus an aspirational lifestyle brand versus a more, I guess, what would you call it, mass market brand. And then also finally those discount brands that I think we can all think of one or two that is part of their merchandising model. You walk in or you go online to their store. I'll give kind of like an example of like a Temu or something like that.
Chemist Warehouse.
Oh my
Yellow
gosh, Chemist
everywhere.
Warehouse. Oh, they're crazy. But that's part of their choice and the way that they've positioned. So we're going to go through a few of those things today. I think it's going to be really, really great, because I think that given the climate of coming out of COVID and the restructuring of a lot of businesses and trying to make their revenue goals and also just their brand building happen, this is something that I think a lot of different departments, teams, individuals all debate on. So let's get into it. I think first off, it might be good to describe at a glance the role of which someone would just put a promotion or a discount into the field. So like they're doing it because they want to be able to drive acquisition, or they're trying to fulfill a product goal of clearing inventory or trying to hit their revenue goals. So overall, it's like you're trying to drive incremental sales by putting this promotion in place. That's the goal anyway.
Sometimes. I think this flags a really interesting point, is like a lot of times brands don't know why they're doing it.
Well, I think they're doing it because they have revenue goals to hit, or like that. Typically, that's what it is. It's like they're benchmarking
or new customer acquisition, or they've got product that they need to clear and they've got high storage costs, and they're like, we need to get rid of products. That's not a revenue driver. I think
it is a revenue driver. Actually,
it's clearing stock.
Yeah.
But I think those like the goals,
just wanting to clear it, but not having the revenue goals.
Yeah, so, which is big in the fashion space. Like if you take like end of season, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be stuck with this stock for 6 to 12 months and no one's going to buy it. It's like, I just need to clear the stock out of my.
Yes. And depending on the type of brand that you are, you would approach it in different ways. So if you're a luxury brand and you're wanting to clear stock, honestly, I mean, I haven't worked a day in luxury, but I assume that they discreetly repurpose it, or they destroy it, because you're not seeing Louis Vuitton go on sale.
Yeah.
Or Hermes go on sale. They are doing something to be able to clear out that excess inventory that isn't the typical of a mass market brand, who would then do your in-season promotions or get all your retail markdowns with the calendars, or even do like something crazy at Black Friday to clear that out. So yeah, just wanted to preface that, yes, the discount and promotion is used. Not all brands will use it.
Of course. Yeah, agreed. It comes back to principles of like why and the why. And what we're talking about is like, this is a sleeper moment where it's very quick to make a code in Shopify and walk into a discounting strategy without deciding it. It's like, oh, I set up a welcome flow. It's got a 10% discount. Next minute I know I see my competitor doing 15% off. Then I'm like, oh, okay. I breach my principles again. If your principle is like very conservative on discount, you walk into a sale. The sale goes from 24 hours to 48 hours. And all of a sudden it's a week. And then next year it's like, oh, we ran a sale last year, so we're going to run a sale again. Or we're behind 30% year on year. Oh, now we're going to run another sale. And it's like, you can see how I'm
It
giving
creeps
the
in.
like 12 to 18 months sleeper journey into actually customers only buy from us when we're on sale. And
Yes, that is I would say, depending on your goals, but that is the danger, is that say you're a beautiful lifestyle aspirational brand that's then trying to chase what you see is maybe the way that consumers are going. And then along the way, you've then joined that kind of like herd of that strategy, which depending on your goals, if you're not after the aspirational lifestyle brand, but are chasing revenue, for example, might be your short-term play, but has consequences.
no matter what stage you're at a brand, you can always pivot this. It just hurts. And so if you are going to pick a strategy and be principled around it, be principled and don't breach your principles. I think once you've got a strategy and a principle, uphold your principles 100% of the time. Otherwise, it will just eat away.
Yes. I think a good strategy to be able to navigate this, because I see a lot of brands going, I'm not making the same as what I was last year. An outlet sale will solve all of my issues. Maybe what you can do instead is think about two different things. Number one being, okay, are there, obviously like cash flow and size of business dependent, but is there something that I could do as part of my new product launch strategy that could help the sell through of that particular new product launch, that the cut through of that converts so much better that then outweighs the need or desire to then do a sale? Like you could audit the way that you're producing your hype around your new arrivals to actually create a much bigger moment and a much bigger kind of like accelerator to conversion. That would be number one. I think another thing, and sorry, I forgot my second one, so we can cut this out. It was new product launch and, I got it. The second thing is also around your campaign moments. So you don't necessarily need to come out with new arrivals, but maybe you could do a whole series around, a particular fashion item and how it relates to a particular movie. And you could get everyone around that movie and create almost like a moment out of your existing range to be able to create demand around something that didn't really have the desirability before. So I guess I'm just trying to give you different strategies that you can explore that aren't related to sale that can then contribute to you making more money.
Yeah, I think what it boils back to, like a principle level, like a business principle level, that some businesses think of it this way, but most don't. Your discount amount or lost revenue is a marketing expense, and it should have a marketing budget.
Yeah.
Just like any other marketing spend in your business, we track ad spend, we track shipping, free shipping, even free shipping is a marketing expense. It's like that should be tracked as a marketing expense. Because the way I think about it, it almost becomes a targeting strategy for customer segments. And so, for example, taking those tactics that you were just sharing around how could you create demand by tapping into other audiences, you're spending money there by doing those collaborations or changing products and advertising. But you're attracting a certain segment of customers that are interested in that specific niche or interest. Like it's a segment, right?
For example, let's say I know that earlier this year, last year, everything's blending into one, but the whole country movement and, cowboy boots and the whole country era kicked off. What if you had something in your range that reflected something associated to country and that you could then kind of build out a bit of a culture moment in your brand all around country? I mean, I'm just talking off the cuff. But
these are good tactics or like examples of, I guess, marketing in another way that's not discounting. Because I guess what we're doing here is like, should you discount or should you not? What you're going to attract with discounting, particularly deeper once you go post 20%, is discount shoppers. Now, if discount shoppers are part of your customer segment that is a keen buyer, really interested in your product, you rely on them as a portion of your customer segment that you're going after, then you should play to their needs. But there is a customer segment that doesn't even consider discounts.
Yeah.
And so what this actually comes back to is like, what is your customer segment? How are you going to get in front of them? Some of them are discounts. Some, maybe you're using a 10% offer for new customers who have had a product in their cart for 7 days because they're like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. It's that push to go, yes, you should try this product. And Australians, I think it's like 60% of Australians discover new brands through discounted offers. So that's like a really interesting discovery piece. But when it comes back to what the purpose of this whole process is like, okay, what segment are you going after? And so if you're going after a certain segment, you need to align your marketing strategy to get that segment. If discount shoppers are part of your segment, then sure, let's go. Okay, we're going to allocate budget to go after that segment, but I'm going to ring fence my non-discount shoppers. Like, there's no reason that you need to run ads or send emails or communicate to customers who buy from you at full price anyway. There's no reason you have to blast them with a 25% off message.
Yes, actually, that's another point that I wanted to mention is that you should protect your core range as much as possible. For example, with Hermes, like they have their bags and it's not like they're ever putting them onto a discount. They are only increasing the price and increasing the value of the things that are your like core. And so I want to encourage you the same. If you're going, okay, this always sells the best, I would recommend to really, at all costs, unless it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and you're doing a site-wide, let's, go, do not put it on sale. I know it is so tempting, but what you're doing is people who would have bought full price anyway, had you have just focused on your messaging, your crafting of your marketing, etc., would have bought at full price. And then you still keep your aspirational lifestyle vision and don't kind of compromise that to then just being like a mass market, always doing promotion style of business.
Mm-hmm. And I'll give you a much more close to home example than Hermes. Like, yeah, Hermes, we get it. Massive brand, significant reputation, has the ability to be like, sorry, we just don't make enough products. They use scarcity as their marketing tactic. When was the last time you walked into Woolworths and Coles and milk was on sale?
Yeah, never. I don't think I've ever seen, maybe in like the cupboard part of the milk section, but never in the refrigerated section. That's like glassed off as.
Or bananas.
Yeah.
Or barbecue chickens only when it's like the end of the night. Like they're never on, like they're very rarely on special other than when they overmake them and like, oh my gosh, stop.
Yeah. You know what's actually interesting? I think there's a really big power in the word or the phrase sold out. I think that carries a lot of weight that your ranges, if you can keep your stock lean or as part of your kind of marketing strategy, having that allure of selling out and not needing to use discounting as your way to clear and then show that you're sold out carries its weight and it's almost like it's hype of your brand in gold.
It does. I keep coming back to the three things that I'm thinking about in discounting that just like really nails it for me. One is like the separation between short-term promotional discounting strategy to drive urgency, then like discounting as a pricing strategy overall. I think like that's a whole separate topic around pricing and levering and even things like in Woolworths and Coles where they have like marked down for good. It's like we've reset the price. That's like a promotional strategy of like a new price change.
Yeah, interesting.
That's like a whole structural pricing.
Yeah.
But it comes back to three things for me that I think most brands miss. There's a few that do it well. First, why are you doing it? Secondly, do you actually track your discount and promotions as a marketing expense? Because you could technically, the question becomes, can you deploy that discount amount in another channel to drive just as much sales or a portion of sales at full price?
Yes.
That actually net on a margin level, you're actually more profitable.
So you're saying like you could spend more on ads, selling your stuff at full price versus spending the amount that you're spending to then have them convert at a sale price and then potentially eroding that loyalty, that aspirational, that I'm wearing this because I'm like proud versus
I'll give you an example.
Waiting for the perpetual 50 to 75% off that they're going to do.
I'll give you an example. If I sell $100 worth of product at full price on a 40% margin, I make $40.
Yep.
If it cost me $30 to acquire that customer,
made $10.
I made $10 in profit. If I sold $100 of product at $90 and it cost me $30 it'd be cost me less because the acquisition cost would be lower.
Okay.
Might be $25.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And so now I've made $15, but I've also given away $10 in discount. So although my acquisition cost has come down, once I add the discount cost, I've actually made less profit. So this at a 40% product margin, if you discount 35% off, you need to triple your sales against a non-discounted day to break even, which is like very hard to do. Like 30% off is like people give that away.
Yeah, I see it a lot. And so when that happens, sure, you get that short hit of an additional revenue for the day, but perhaps are forgetting the cost of what those discounts then incur on your expenses or your marketing cost. And then therefore also what then happens to your brand reputation as well, if you're looking to win on that aspirational lifestyle conversion. Because I do believe that you want to buy into a brand if you're going after the aspirational side, because you like want to be part of the club, like you want to be in with their lifestyle. And so for a lot of that, it does mean that sale isn't really like part of the equation of what that look and feels like.
Yeah. And I think some industries hurt more in this space than others, like things that are seasonal.
Yeah, totally.
Seasonal products always feel this pain because inventory management is actually the driving force. It's not consumer strategy or customer strategy. It's actually finance going, we can't carry this loss. We've bought too deep, particularly in fashion. It's like, I've bought too deep. Don't want to get caught with this end of season. It's a really, really tough thing to grapple with as a business owner, because you're like, and I see this every day, and I understand why you end up in these situations where you're like weighing up, damn, I could either discount right now, sell my product, sleep at night, or not do it and hurt. But then in 2 years, if I keep doing that, making that short-term trade-off, it's like eating the donut at night every night to then wondering why you don't have a six-pack in 2 years.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Surf Stitch. Like I feel like Surf Stitch had such an opportunity to just lead the charge, had such a great brand name in terms of like the name Surf Stitch, literally, but then just collapsed at the sale drug.
Yeah, they got squeezed by their on other sides as well. But yes, it's a similar. There's so many brands. I used to work at Groupon, so it's like I lived and breathed this like discounting strategy and like how this works. It is tough. And I guess my steer and advice here and what we speak to our clients about is, sure, promotional strategy can be a big part of your strategy. That's okay. But it has to be managed. It has to be reported on, and the trade-offs need to be super clear. One of the things that I always kind of run into, a lot of the reason that people resort to discounts to drive sales is because they don't have the cash flow or capitalization of their business to do the long-term marketing, the other strategies that we're talking about, which is like more marketing outlay with the risk of it not working.
Of course. I understand that is scary, and it's one of those things where you're going to go through a test and learn phase of figuring out what really resonates with your audience, what audiences then are, become attracted to your brand because of those changes. However, what I'm seeing time and time again is that if you are reducing your appetite for creative and building out that marketing messaging engine, there are others that are playing there very well and are therefore going to get the better CPMs, the better cut through on advertising, the better cut through building their brand, and then will therefore take the prize of your customer. So I understand that that's like may sound a bit overwhelming, but you can just start by thinking about different ways that you could posture and build your creative, resourcing a bit more strategically. So whether if you can find someone online that's building or doing edits that are at the standard that you would want for your brand, see if you can engage them to make a few edits for your brand. Or if you see an up and coming, business that you think could completely overhaul your photo shoots to the whole production line, carving out the budget for that, and maybe, yes, reducing your ad spend or the amount that you put towards your sales, but reinvesting it into that instead. Because you've got to remember, it's not about what happens in the month of your sales. It's what it's actually doing to your entire brand position over the years to come. And that's what I really care about. And that's what I'm trying to protect when we're thinking about alternative ways than joining the mass market or the discounted brand strategy.
It's so hard, isn't it? I feel for brands.
Yeah. We can say this being a service-based business we're not in the game.
Well, we don't discount our product.
No, we don't.
We don't discount ever. Like at Vonnimedia, no one gets discounted fees. I don't care who you are. It just doesn't happen. Like we just are offering. And so we've never had this like promo period addiction where we're acquiring customers during promos. Like we've just been very strong and stalwart on that.
Yeah.
Actually by accident.
What, just a lack of other choice?
No, we could. We could say we could have we have onboarding offers where the first 3 months are at 50% off. Like we could do that as a strategy. we have we've never done that, right? We're just like, no.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, my principles for us and what we provide as value doesn't do that. I also think that we're pretty fair priced in the market.
Yeah, sure. But so are most brands at discount, but like they're even more fair priced than they discount, right? So it's actually not, we didn't at the time when we decided that we don't discount, that wasn't a decision strategically of like, what's it going to do for our brand? But we're seeing it now of like, it actually helps our brand.
I think so. I mean, we don't know the other option, but
yeah, of course.
Just kidding. But no, I mean, I definitely think that there's a type of customer that then we attract and then that we can build and grow. But anyway, enough about us.
No,
I think coming back to the more promotional side of things, hopefully this has been an insightful way for you to just stop to think about your current strategy. And hey, maybe you take away from this being like, you know what, we're going to continue our retail calendar, which, you know, I often do advise you to do, unless of course you're in the luxury space or, you know, you're wanting to either do maybe your own structured markdown at Black Friday, Cyber Monday that doesn't do the site wide and you just got another plan. Or maybe you're looking to accept the softer sales or, you know, go.
Build your business around the worst case of softer sales and then grow and invest when other people own the share of voice in certain periods.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, maybe instead if you're thinking, you know what, I don't want to be like all the others and put all my reds and yellows everywhere, which I'm not saying that you need to do that in order to do a mass market or discount branded style sale. Even aspirational brands do participate in the retail calendar as well, and we'll need to think about their positioning for this. But you could also consider, if you're like, I do though most of the time encourage you to do Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but let's just say we're talking about traditional other retail times like after payday or whatever. Maybe it's like, okay, I'm not going to participate in that because I don't really agree with that for my brand positioning. So instead, what I'm going to do is put in extra creative here and here with an additional spend here for my new product launch, and then prioritize your spend that way. And so I think just being a bit more tactical around the moments of those can then help you, build your brand, not be addicted to the sale, and continue to have people want to be part of the lifestyle and not just look out for a sale all the time. Because I think that's what ultimately we're trying to protect, is that training of the customer. We've seen it firsthand. And I mean, you worked at Groupon, right? Like that's like that is like
the spot.
This
is where it started. No, it's not where it started.
No, it's not where it started, but it definitely.
I think one thing there is the training of the customer is if it's the same human being.
Of course, yeah.
It's actually not like, it's like, what is our target segment? Like, who is in our email list when they buy? Like, every time you send an email now, after you've run a big sale, all the people that have signed up to your email list and you've acquired are people that acquired through a sale.
Yes, which therefore means that was like their intention, not because they were buying into really like your entire kind of like brand story and are like addicted to contributing towards that being part of their life as well. So I encourage you to look at your LTV of your different customers within your email.
Well, I think one of the thing that people miss to do is like, okay, if someone bought on sale, they should be flagged or tagged in your Klaviyo or whatever it is you're using as a discount purchaser.
Yeah, agreed.
That like instant change is like, all right, that person I know in my database has purchased only on sale. You could even run a report on your Shopify, go, okay, who's bought, what's their discount percentage by person, tag only people that have sales with discounts in them, apply that as a segment in your database and say, all right, cool. They're going to be super receptive to your sale emails. You can test them with some other emails, but they probably won't buy. Whereas like if you've got someone who's never bought on sale from you, that's like your golden goose. It's like, how can you tell the story of who you are, what you do, your product, your service? You can just, by doing that delineation, you instantly can create margin opportunity.
Correct. Yes. Which I know that most people go, oh, but Von and Sam, wouldn't I just still send things entire database wide? That's going to give me the net biggest revenue. Because I think that's the first thing that would come to my mind. If I heard that, I'd be like, hang on, I'm segmenting.
Yeah.
I'm cutting down the ultimate revenue monthly goal opportunity.
Yeah, but it doesn't, like, we're not in business to make revenue. We're in business to make profit.
Good.
Like, I don't know what, like, why would
good.
You can't reinvest if you aren't profitable to then do the things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think.
And selling your business down the track as well. You obviously want to show multiples and like it's something
The
worthwhile.
only caveat and exception is if you can win on cost leadership. Cost leadership as a strategy. If you can win on cost leadership And that applies to probably like 3 or 4 brands globally.
You're talking about like the Iconic and stuff, right? Or no?
Well, Iconic gets
Uber?
scale. The Temus where they like
Right.
cut out the middleman and they just go straight to the suppliers.
Yeah.
The Amazons of the world where they get actual savings benefits at scale because they get quicker deliveries, they get more delivery volume, they can support a network of drivers that allows them to fulfill at cheaper rates, faster rates. They can actually get the network effect. For every e-commerce brand in Australia, that's not the case.
Yeah, unless
so
you've
like
got
don't try and play in that
funding to just like shoot to the moon. Like I'm saying, the Iconic on a small scale kind of appears a bit like that.
Starts there, but it's not even close to like. That's why they do their free returns. It's like they are winning on cost leadership because they can get scale and volume. Relying solely on discounting is definitely not the only strategy you need to deploy. And I think like people get addicted to it because it's so easy. Like writing a code into Shopify takes what, 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Whereas like creating a campaign that creates buzz is like months of work and it might not work. So like I can see the why. Like it's so clear and I get it. But you don't do it. Don't just rely on that. Prioritize your efforts in the other things and then complement with very targeted, softer discounts, softer messaging, not like drive sales. And there's some stats around like 10 to 15% being particularly around the 40% profit margin. I wrote it down here. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
The 10 to 15% range is that great nudge for people that are like new customers sitting on the edge, not sure if the product works or not. Yeah. It's enough to go like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Like that nudge.
So true. That is such a behavior. I like
it's like
imagining.
I get a saving, I justify as my purchase, right?
Yeah.
There'll be brands that you only buy from when they're on 35% off. She's like, I actually don't really want to buy this brand. And like, there is enough human beings in Australia, at least, to support pretty much most businesses in a target segment if they just message and advertise properly to them for growth and to continue to grow. So don't rely on discounting to go into the other segment of like hyper discount sensitive customers where they only buy 35, 40% off because you're making no money on them. You're never going to make money on them. If you can't get someone to purchase again profitably, why have that customer? They're just causing burden on your supply chain. They're taking up stock that could be purchased from someone else. You're doubling the amount of orders that you need to deliver. So your shipping costs go up, your operational costs go up, increases the amount of support tickets you have. So more operational complexity and you're not making any money.
Damn. People are going to be, hearts are going to be hurt, Sam.
And one of the things I think we should talk about is like, okay, if I'm in a situation now where my brand is addicted to discounts, what do I do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I don't think the answer is to completely remove yourself from the retail calendar and just go, I'm never doing that again. Like obviously the pain of that is like huge. And I think you should take steps towards the other strategies that I mentioned earlier, which are around for your new product development, being able to inject cash into your creative delivery, your messages, your moments. And there's a variety of things that we could probably do another podcast ep on actually around like all the different kind of moments you can bring to your brand. I actually think that'd be really fun because I think there's things that people aren't even considering. Like if you have building like a bit of a fandom, what could they have as a little thing, or is there merch, or is there different way? Yeah, I would love
see this.
I
think that comes into like the strategy of the brand. It's
very
hard to like.
It's
very hard to though just see those things without understanding the overall strategy, marketing, investment, and overall brand building and ROI.
Yeah, but let's just like ignore all that and give them what they want, which is the
some tactics.
Creative tactics.
Yeah, of course.
So
but like
we'll do another podcast segment on it.
Something else I believe in, just to like on this topic, is like all marketing works. It's just how effective it is. So all these tactics, like you can do anything. You can just go. You could go out in the street, you and I could go out and just yell Vonnimedia really loudly all day, every day. We'll eventually get some customers. Is it a good use of resources? Maybe, maybe not. Like we should try it, but like that is a form of marketing. You're just telling people about your brand.
You know what's funny? I'm imagining ourselves like in town hall, like, you know, where the people do the busking and everything. If I was to yell Vonnimedia, maybe like 100 people would see that. If I yelled it like 10 times in 2 minutes, that's 1,000 impressions for a really cheap rate. So
with a speaker, like you could.
Maybe that's a great way to get awareness.
That's what advertising, I guess that's what marketing your brand is. Like, I'm saying that is an example of marketing. It's
I'm going to go down Bay Street in Double Bay and just yell.
You're like, she okay? All marketing works, just how effective it is. So when we talk about tactics, it needs to play a part in your strategy and how effective it is. Because that's what we're debating really when it comes to what are we spending money on, how are we marketing or advertising your business, comes back to how effective it is.
Well, a couple of things that I'd love for you to think about is, okay, you obviously are like, okay, thank you guys for giving me that, heart to heart that I really needed. But now what? Like, where do I go to even like think about those creative messages? And so a few things that come to mind for me are, number one, have a look back at your ads manager, have a look through any kind of creative tools that you have and find your best performers, because that is a good bet that if you have a best performer of a creative type and creative message, please excluding sale, that is a good step forward of like, what could I then create next that had good reception before? The other things that you can do is also have a look at what's going on online. What are people saying about your product industry? What are people saying regarding your products? Like, start to get a little bit more tactile information around what the market and the public is saying. I also think you should take a look through Meta Ads Library and go through and analyze what other competitors are doing as part of their ad mix and creative mix, and really challenge how you can come to the table a bit more creatively and a lot more in alignment with your customers that you're sharing. And from there, start to pull together, okay, well, this is what I'm going to fix. This is how I'm going to do it. And then what resources do I need? And then if you don't have those resources, it is your responsibility. They're not going to fall out of the sky. You need to go and find them. You need to go find trusted advisors who can recommend you people, or come speak to us. I'm not trying to plug us. I'm just saying we can do that, and we can give you some insights and some introductions, or, find out more about what can happen in this arena. Because I do think that if you sleep on that delivery part, it's just going to once again affect and demoralize you from wanting to do that again. But it all comes back to creative, your product, what's going on, and finding the flaws in your funnel as well. Anyway, I'm getting too much into the detail, but I want you to know that there's a couple of steps that you can do right now to actually make a decision how you're going to approach your messaging going forward. Passion is large for this part of the podcast.
My perspective here is slightly different, but to get to the same output. I feel like it's like getting over an addiction, and you have to understand what is going to take to get you off the addiction. You have to want it, and you almost need to be able to walk in and go, you know what? Is my business in the healthy enough situation where I can handle not having those customers? Like, if I had 0 of my discount shoppers, what happens to my business? And like, you might have to take a massive ego hit where your business goes down 40% year on year. You lose 40% of your sales. But actually, for year 3, 4, 5 from now, that brand has completely changed. You can repivot the brand, restructure the brand, recenter the brand around something else. That may mean you need to restructure your business. That is freaking scary. It may mean new staff layouts, new products, like restructuring your business. And that, like, downsizing warehouses, doing these things where you need to get to a point where it's like, okay, actually, we can survive. We can build a cash pile. We can start investing in the brand building stuff. And actually, hurts for 2 years, but for 5 years from now, when this business is still running, this is a better place to be in. Otherwise, you're always going to be tempted because you've got costs to cover or revenue to catch so you can pay for your fixed costs. You need to potentially, if you don't have the capital sitting around to do this, you might need to restructure. That is scary. I know. And that is like, sometimes it's like, I'll just push this decision away for again. And you just can't push it much further. If you push it and push it and push it, you're just going to get unhealthy, even more unhealthy. And then all of a sudden you might be in a place where your business doesn't exist, and then you surf stitch.
I think that, and those similar. Yeah, I think it's a good point of posture for you to be honest with yourself and really think about why you started that brand. Who do you see that end customer living, breathing, loving your brand? And look, maybe your goal is to be a discount brand. You're competing in, areas like shopping where if you're a marketplace, just no way. And so we can do a whole other podcast on businesses that maybe prioritize that as part of the mix. I think that would be really fun. We have some really great advice, or at least like learnings that we can share when it comes to marketplaces.
I think that works when you're selling products that are uniform across, like your differentiation isn't in product. Like, do you
Correct,
have
yeah.
the product? Your differentiation might be range. It might be delivery speed. It might be customer service. Like, if you're selling Arnott's chips or Arnott's crackers, like Arnott's crackers, you're a retailer. You're not a product business that has created something new.
Yes. So yeah, we'll deviate away from those things.
Oh, you could get someone, actually, just one thing on those brands.
Yeah.
Like that discount funding that I talked about, the ad spend or like the discount cost in most businesses in those arrangements actually can be, that discount budget can be funded by the supplier with rebates. Whereas like it's not your marketing expense. So then it's like, okay, you're not discounting your brand, you're discounting their brand, but you're driving the sales. So that's like a whole different conversation. Those brands, like let's not open that. That's a whole other
thing. I guess like I'm saying, like for excluding those things, it's like really think about what your end vision would be for your brand. Like really think big, think aspirational if you're choosing that to get away from the discount brand scenario and also definitely away from the mass market scenario, but you're going into this like aspirational lifestyle brand and then maybe even upwards towards luxury. If that's your goal and that's who you really picture your brand to be, what are all the different things that maybe you could begin to do and delve deep into the deployment and execution of testing and learning and building on that, and just head down, cut costs, work on product, work on that creative
Capitalize
mix.
your business properly.
Yeah, correct. And then from there, start to see your brand take place and take shape another way. And then for another podcast, oh my gosh, I'm getting all my podcast ideas on this podcast. It would be around getting people from order 1 to order 2. And that's when I think we should do a whole other podcast
without a discount fee.
On retention and that
without a discount
process.
Without a discount.
Correct. Yes. There's so many different beautiful ways that you can do that. So just a question and a point for you to make. And maybe you go, you know what, Von? Nah, I just want to check. I love the sale and la la. And like, sure, if that is your plan, then please, feel free to carry on. We just wanted to give you our overall kind of landscape of this tactic. And also if you are going, how do I just stop it? I know that the people in my life are just recommending for me to do a sale here, there, and everywhere, and it looks like it's building my brand, but is it? And that's where we come back to that email of who you've just gotten, the cost that it's taken to acquire, the brand change that does to it being an aspirational brand to being a mass market, always doing in-season campaigns and retail and going hard. What does that actually do long-term for the profit and also the positioning of that brand?
It's funny, there's been a lot of, in the market, a lot of hype sales over the last 12 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, far out, it feels good to see your numbers go absolutely gangbusters. But when you actually boil back the numbers, when you add up the ad spend, the discount fees, like it just burns holes in brands' pockets. And they don't realize until like 6 months later when they pay, because they pay for the stock and they have 3 months of not selling the stock. And they get the sugar hit, they forgot they bought it. It's like when you go to the movies or like when you go to a festival, you forgot you paid for the festival ticket like 6 months ago. So you're like, today's free. I'll just spend as much money as I want. I'll have a good day. But when you actually calculate the costs, I'm like, this doesn't even wash its face at all. And you're doing so much effort and you're doing the brand damage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're here for you guys. We, empathize that, it is a really tough climate, but also it isn't, if you can step out of when am I going to do my next sale and what does that look like, and into how am I going to build this beautiful brand? What does my customer love getting inspired by? What do they love getting entertained by? What are the brands that are my North Star in other industries that I am not wavering my principles on, and then just being louder, bigger, better than everyone else and at full price?
Or as close to full price as possible.
Yeah.
One last tip. Sorry, last tip.
Yeah.
Set yourself a percentage. So go to your Shopify reports if you're in a Shopify account, or go to your revenue reports. Calculate the amount of discounts you spent in the last 12 months. Track it over a month. I want you to then, if you're having this problem of like, I'm discounting too much, set a discount budget for every month for the rest of the year based on your last year and reduce it by 30% and stick to it hard. Track it like you're tracking ad spend. If you're going over, then you're blowing your budgets.
Yep. And then take that money and maybe you could use it towards creative, ad spend, product investments,
PR,
use it that way. Yeah.
whatever it is. I don't really mind. What you,
Posture the way that you go to market for your brand.
yeah. And do that every single month for the next 6 months. And then next year, look at it again, cut it by 30% again. Wean yourself off these discount drugs. Get yourself into discount rehab.
All right.
Great. Bye.
Thank you guys. We'll see you later in the next podcast.